During a spirited segment on The View, Willie Nelson greeted the hosts with his signature charisma and warmth. The mood quickly shifted when Joy Behar delved into a sensitive topic, probing into Nelson's political views and recent commentary. Though known for his gentle humor, Willie visibly stiffened, his responses growing guarded. As the questions intensified, the atmosphere turned from playful to fraught. Without warning, Willie stood, his gaze steely, and delivered a firm, "That's enough." He then removed his mic and walked off the set in stunned silence, leaving the studio in disarray. Behind the curtains, the crew scrambled to process what had just happened. Producers rushed after Willie, pleading for him to return, while stage managers exchanged frantic whispers over headsets. Joy remained at the table, visibly shaken yet holding her ground, making a quick remark to lighten the mood for the audience. In the green room, Willie removed his cowboy hat, paced slowly, and muttered that he wouldn't be railroaded on live TV. A few staffers tried to calm him, reminding him of the millions watching, but he simply shook his head. The tension was palpable. Half the crew feared the interview would never resume, while the other half wondered if this fiery moment would be the viral clip of the year. The tension had been brewing long before the cameras rolled. Sources close to the production revealed that Willie and Joy had clashed in pre-show discussions over political topics, with both refusing to back down. During the live segment, what started as a lighthearted exchange about music and touring quickly veered into a heated debate on American values and personal freedoms. Joy, known for her sharp tongue, interrupted Willie mid-sentence, which visibly irritated him. Willie's calm drawl turned firm as he told her she was talking over the truth, prompting gasps from the audience. The conversation spiraled into a back and forth that neither seemed willing to end, and by the time producers signaled a commercial break, the atmosphere had soured beyond repair. When the show returned from the commercial break, the tension was palpable. Willie Nelson sat back in his chair, arms crossed, while Joy Behar attempted to pivot the discussion toward a lighter topic. But Willie wasn't interested in moving on. Looking straight at Joy, he said, "I didn't come here to be talked down to," his voice calm but cutting. The audience murmured in surprise, and Joy gave a dismissive laugh, saying, "Oh, come on, Willie, don't be so sensitive." That seemed to be the final straw. Willie removed his earpiece, stood up, and tipped his hat slightly toward the audience. "Y'all have a good day," he said before walking off the set. The cameras caught the stunned faces of the other co-hosts, who scrambled to fill the dead air, while producers rushed to cut to a pre-recorded segment. Clips of Willie Nelson's walk-off spread across social media within minutes, with hashtags like #WillieWalks and #ViewShowdown trending by the afternoon. Fans flooded Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, with many praising Willie for standing his ground and refusing to be talked over by Joy Behar. Others criticized both for letting a disagreement spiral into live television drama. The View released a short statement calling the exchange a spirited discussion, while Willie's publicist told reporters that he had no regrets about leaving mid-show. Late-night hosts poked fun at the incident, and country radio stations played Willie's songs on repeat in a show of solidarity. By the end of the week, what could have been a passing argument had turned into one of the most talked-about celebrity TV walk-offs of the year. Sources from inside The View claimed the tension didn't die down when the cameras stopped rolling. In fact, it got worse. Crew members said Joy Behar left the stage visibly frustrated, muttering about how guests should respect the format, while Willie Nelson's team quickly ushered him toward a side exit, avoiding any further confrontation. Producers reportedly huddled in a back office, debating whether to edit the segment for the show's later re-airing or leave it intact for maximum buzz. Some staffers worried the clash could make booking other high-profile country artists more difficult, while others argued it was great TV and would spike ratings. Meanwhile, Willie's camp began fielding interview requests from major outlets, and a source close to the singer hinted that his upcoming tour announcement might just ride this wave of publicity. Within hours, clips of the heated exchange between Willie Nelson and Joy Behar flooded social media, racking up millions of views on TikTok, Instagram, and X, formerly Twitter. Fans were sharply divided. Many praised Willie for standing his ground and refusing to be talked over, while others defended Joy, saying she was simply holding a guest accountable. Country music forums lit up with threads dissecting every moment of the interview, from Willie's facial expressions to Joy's pointed tone. Hashtags like hashtag TeamWilly and hashtag TeamJoy began trending, with celebrities quietly liking posts on both sides. Morning radio hosts replayed the audio on loop, sparking call-in debates, and late-night comedians started teasing jokes about the fiery moment before the day was even over. By evening, it was clear the confrontation had crossed over from daytime TV drama into full-blown pop culture phenomenon. The next morning, The View opened with an unusually tense atmosphere. Joy Behar, looking composed but slightly defensive, briefly addressed the incident without offering an apology, saying, "We have passionate discussions on this show, and sometimes people disagree, that's television." Whoopi Goldberg stepped in to smooth things over, emphasizing that Willie Nelson was welcome back anytime, and that spirited debate was part of the program's DNA. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, producers were reportedly in overdrive, monitoring ratings and engagement metrics, which had spiked sharply after the clash. ABC released a carefully worded statement to the press acknowledging the robust exchange of ideas, and reiterating their respect for all guests. Still, industry insiders whispered that tensions between Joy and certain guests had been building for months, and Willie's walk-off had just thrown fuel on an already simmering fire. Later that day, members of Willie Nelson's team broke their silence. His longtime publicist issued a statement explaining that Willie hadn't planned to leave but felt disrespected when his views were interrupted multiple times. Friends close to the country legend told entertainment reporters that he values honest conversation but has no patience for what he sees as gotcha moments on live TV. Fellow musicians and celebrities took to social media to back him up, praising his composure and defending his right to walk away. Country star Casey Musgraves posted, "Willie's been speaking his truth for decades. You don't invite him on and then try to talk over him." Fans rallied behind him too, flooding his recent Instagram posts with supportive comments and vowing to boycott The View. The incident, rather than harming his image, seemed to elevate it, painting him as a man who wouldn't compromise his principles for the sake of staying in the spotlight. By the following morning, The View addressed the viral moment head-on. Joy Behar opened the show with a mix of humor and defensiveness, saying, "Well, folks, we've had walk-offs before, but never from a living legend like Willie Nelson." She insisted there was no malice, claiming the exchange was simply spirited debate that got a little too lively. Co-host Sunny Hostin chimed in, admitting the segment went off the rails, but arguing that heated discussions are part of what makes the program engaging. Producers released a short clip on social media showing what they called the full context, but critics said it only confirmed that Willie had been interrupted repeatedly. Instead of calming the waters, the show's response seemed to deepen the divide. Loyal View watchers defended the hosts, while Willie's fans accused the show of damage control. The tension between the two camps showed no sign of fading, and the moment had already cemented itself as one of the most talked about daytime TV walk-offs in recent memory. 2 days after the walk-off, Willie Nelson posted a short video to his official Instagram account, filmed from his ranch. Wearing his signature bandana and sitting with a guitar across his lap, he calmly addressed the incident. "I've been around a long time," he began, "and I've had plenty of disagreements. But when it stops being a conversation and turns into a shouting match, that's my cue to leave." He didn't mention Joy Behar by name, but his tone suggested lingering frustration. Willie explained that he'd agreed to do The View to talk about his new charity initiative for struggling farmers, not to engage in political sparring. Fans flooded the comments with support, praising him for taking the high road and protecting his peace. Within hours, #StandWithWillie was trending on social media, and even celebrities from outside the country music world chimed in to back him up. The video racked up millions of views in less than a day, reinforcing the idea that Willie's graceful exit had only boosted his standing in the public eye. The following morning, Joy Behar addressed the controversy directly on The View. With her co-hosts looking on, she opened the segment by acknowledging the elephant in the room. "Look," she said, "I like Willie Nelson. I've always liked him. But when someone comes on this show, they should expect spirited debate. That's what we do here." She insisted that nothing said during their exchange was meant to be personal, framing it instead as a clash of viewpoints. However, viewers noted a hint of defensiveness in her tone, especially when she added, "If you walk off, you miss your chance to be heard." The audience reaction was mixed. Some applauded her candor, while others booed lightly. Clips of her remarks circulated online within minutes, reigniting the discussion. Critics accused Joy of downplaying the tension, while supporters argued she was simply defending the show's format. Meanwhile, The View's producers seemed eager to move past the dust-up, but the internet wasn't letting go so easily. Later that same day, Willie Nelson took to his official Instagram account, posting a short video filmed from his tour bus. Wearing his signature bandana and speaking in a calm but firm tone, he began by thanking fans for their outpouring of support. "I've been around long enough to know when a conversation stops being about ideas and starts being about making a point at someone's expense," he said. Without mentioning Joy Behar by name, he explained that he left The View because, "there's no sense sitting at a table where folks aren't listening." He emphasized that he bore no personal ill will, but he wouldn't apologize for standing up for his values. The post quickly went viral, racking up millions of views and sparking thousands of supportive comments from country music fans and free speech advocates alike. Many praised his composure and integrity, while others urged him to never return to the show. Some even floated hashtags like #StandWithWillie and #LetWillieSpeak, which began trending by nightfall. The following morning on The View, Joy Behar addressed the situation head-on during the show's opening segment. Sitting alongside her co-hosts, she claimed that her exchange with Willie Nelson had been spirited, but not personal, insisting that heated discussions were part of what made the show dynamic. However, her tone suggested she was still bristling at the way events unfolded. Joy said she respected Willie's right to leave if he felt uncomfortable, but added that she wished he had stayed to finish the conversation like adults. The comment drew a mix of applause and awkward silence from the studio audience. Clips of her remarks were quickly shared online, reigniting debates over whether her handling of the interview had crossed a line. Some viewers defended Joy, arguing that the show thrived on strong opinions, while others accused her of downplaying the tension and shifting blame onto Willie. By the afternoon, the story was once again dominating entertainment headlines. Later that same day, Willie Nelson released a short but pointed statement through his publicist. In it, he thanked The View for inviting him but said he wouldn't apologize for standing firm on his beliefs. He emphasized that his walk-off was not about avoiding debate but about refusing to be disrespected in a conversation that had ceased to be constructive. The country legend acknowledged that disagreements were natural in media interviews but hinted that the tone of the exchange had crossed a boundary for him. "I've been around long enough to know when it's time to pick up my guitar and leave," he wrote, adding a wry nod to his decades on the road. The statement went viral, with fans praising his grace and sense of humor in the face of controversy. Within hours, hashtags like #StandWithWillie and #LetWillieTalk were trending, cementing the incident as one of the most talked about moments in recent talk show history.